Hi guys, this is Cambro. I haven't recorded a video in some time now. It's been like 4 months since I recorded something. And well, there's not really a good reason for it. I just didn't have time or feel like doing it when I had time. And the packs just keep piling up. But I'll do like a review of some of the cards of Circle Undone, the Secret Name, and Wage of Sin. So I won't be covering all the cards, but I'll cover some of the cards I find interesting or my thoughts on some of the cards. Um, well, I'm sorry that I have not recorded in a while, but I'll try to keep it up for the coming packs. The great or good released like today or yesterday or something like that. So I'll do a separate video on that one, and hopefully I'll do it. And I won't be talking about the investigators in the Circle Undone. I will try to do a separate video on that. Maybe I'll do it when the cycle ends and will be more like a review of the investigators. And if you're new to this channel, this is just a video where I talk about cards in the Arkham horror card game. So let's just jump in without further ado. So we'll start with the Circle Undone, and they were we had like 4 cards for every class. We had some investigators, we had some weaknesses. For the Guardian card, maybe I can do it I can do like this. For the Guardian cards, they were not that interesting. Interrogated, you can find clues with the parlor, which can be good, but Delayed Inevitable, it's not a good card, I would say. Someone wrote quite a nice review, like 3 of the investigators like it, but I think you should just play dodge. But the first card I'll talk about is Steadfast, and every class got one of these cards, and it's basically a skill card with 2 icons, and then there's a condition, and if you trigger the condition, you get 1 extra set of those icons or 2 sets of those icons. So for example, Steadfast, it's a skill card, willpower, combat, and if you have 5 or more total health and sanity, you get an extra combat and will, and if you have 10 or more health and sanity, you get double that. So you get 3 will or 3 fight in total. And this is quite good. I mean, 1 card that can boost you +3 is quite strong. Something like if you compare it to Overpowered, one of the staple cards. Most Guardians run Overpower or Guts, I would say. So instead of running like 2 Overpower and 2 Guts, you could run 2 Steadfast instead. Sure, it doesn't provide the card draw, but in some cases, especially early game, it will give you an extra icon, which is good. So yeah, I think Steadfast is definitely a good card. If we just look at the other ones, Curiosity, you have to have a lot of cards in hand, and Curiosity boosts the same stats as Higher Education, which you have to have 5 or more cards to trigger. But I mean, so sure, this is a level 0 card, so maybe you could run it in the beginning, but then you might want to, if you're running this card, you might want to transcend it into Higher Education. Same with Cunning, it boosts the same stats as Streetwise, and you have to have resources. So I mean, it's probably good in the beginning, or if you're running like a millionaire deck and you don't really want to spend the resources, Cunning can be good. Prophecy, it's a weird one. It's not really a card you can. The other ones you can kind of you can what is it called, adjust how they trigger, but Prophecy. That's not how you spell prophecy, right? No, prophecy. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I heard on what's the podcast Drawn to the Flame how they pronounced it, and it was prophecy. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But this one triggers on Doom. So it's a little harder to control. 6 Doom or more can be... Some Snarl doesn't even have that much. But it gives you wild. So, I mean, even with 2 wild, it's unexpected courage. So it's definitely not a bad card. So if you want 4 unexpected courage, might want to run this card. And the last one, it boosts the same stats as what's the red one called? The red permanent. Now I can't remember it. But yeah, I mean, it triggers on items, and you're usually holding like at least 1 item. So I don't know how often you will get both, like the full benefit of it. So the skill cards are cool, but they're not like something game breaking. Something, well, not really game breaking, but game changing is the new tarot cards. So we have, for example, in the Guardian, we have Ace of Swords. It's an asset, cost 3, 1 experience, and it gives you 1 combat. And it has this reaction: if you have it in your opening hand, you may put it into play for free. And they all take a new slot, which is the tarot card. You can use tarot card in previous cycles, even though the rule was introduced now, but the rules, they go back as well. So you can run this in Dunwich, for example. And let's just open them all. Each class got a tarot card. So the Guardian got Ace of Swords, which boosts combat. Seeker got Death, which boosts intellect. Agility for Rogue. Willpower for Mystic. And +1 health and 1 sanity for Guardians. So Ace of Swords it's a combat boost. And most Guardians run beat Cup, no matter what. It's such a solid ally. But some like secondary class could take this, like if you're running Skid. Skid could take this, but he might not want to run Beat Cup as his ally. He might want to run Leo Luca. So it's definitely something he can run. So I think they're very good for secondary classes, the ones who can take a level 2, so level 0 to level 2 of a secondary class. Death is probably not. Same there. Seeker usually don't have problem with intellect, but secondary classes might want to run this. Someone like Roland can definitely get the use for this. Moon, it's agility. This one is hard. I haven't tried this or seen anyone play it, so I'm not sure how good it is. But since it's in Rogue, and the same with the 4 of Cup, Sefina, if she running one of these, I think she will have a higher chance of seeing them. She draws 13, but she has a bigger deck. Someone has probably calculated the odds for it. And I mean, for all, I'll talk about 5 of Pentagon soon, but the thing with all of these tarot cards is you want them in your opening hand, but how willing are you to like throw away other stuff to maybe see them? I mean, if you have them in your opening hand, obviously it's great, but if you have to like throw out on cards to maybe draw into it, can be questionable. But they're all good. And the last one, 5 of Pentacles. I mean, this is just good for one person. It's good for Calvin. We all know it. Calvin gets willpower and intellect. He gets stats boost depending on damage. And if you have 5 of Pentagram, he can go up to... Then he has 7 health and 7 sanity, which makes him be able to have 6 damage and 6 horror on him, which puts his stats at 6-6, which is very strong. For the other ones, I don't see them really investigating in this. It's not worth the XP, the time, and the card slot mainly. Because the thing is, you could, instead of running like 2 Holy Rosary, you could run maybe 1 4 of Cups instead. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Holy Rosary still provides Sanity Soak, so if you have both down, that's definitely great then. But you probably don't want to switch both your Holy Rosary for to 4 of Cups. Same with something like Death. You probably don't want to switch your both of your Magnifying Glass for 2 Deaths. And the thing is, your second copy of the tarot cards are worthless. They don't have any icons, and you can't have 2 in play. At least not currently. Maybe if we get something, let's just have 2 tarot cards. So that's the tarot cards. They're interesting. Okay, let's continue. This is fingerprint kit. It's a new Seeker asset. It takes up. It has cost 4 to play. Is 0 XP. Intellect pip takes up the hand slot. Item tool traded, and it uses 3 supplies. You exhaust it and you spend 1 supply. You investigate, you get +1 intellect, and if you succeed, you find 1 additional clue. So this is basically the This is basically the 0.4 to 5 automatic for Seekers. I mean, they're very, very similar. You spend 1 ammo or supply in this case. You get boost in stats and you do 1 extra of the basic action. So, I mean, it's expensive, but Seeker have ways to like generate money with Milan. So they can be quite rich. And this is 3 deductions, like not on tap really, but and deduction is a super vital card. This is 3 deductions, and if you're running emergency cash level 3, you can put more supplies on it and keep like chaining it, finding more clues. So it could definitely be a good card instead of like a magnifying glass, if you can pay for it, because it is on the more expensive side of things. But it's a very cool card. Maybe we'll see an upgrade in the future. Okay, Denying Existence. This is one of the new Mystic events. It's a 0-cost event, has a willpower pip and spell and paradox traded. I don't think we have too many paradoxes. We have like 1 or 2. We have at least 1, I know. But it reads fast. When an encounter card or enemy attack would cause you to do one of the following: discard cards from your hand, lose research, lose actions, take damage, or take horror. You ignore that aspect of the effect. So this is a really cool card, especially with like Diana, which I won't like cover too much now. But you know that Diana wants to cancel cards. Whoops, what happened? So it's a very cool card, and this something like what does 2 damage? It's not like it's not an effective as dodge, obviously, but if you're for enemies, but if you're like hitting a rotting remains, maybe I should have rotting. You could take 3 horror from this, but this cancels all of that horror. Or if you manage to like have to discard your hand from Denying Existence, maybe. No, wait, this is that card. I don't remember, but there's a card that like lets you potentially throw out your whole hand, right? Am I tripping now? Anyway, it's a cool card. Run it, try it, it's fun. Another card in the Circle Undone box is the Eldritch Inspiration. Has a very cool picture. It's also a mythic event with willpower and intellect, cost 0 to play, and it's a spell, and it reads fast. When you would resolve an effect on a mystic card that trigger a special token, either cancel that effect or reveal it an additional time. And I'll come back to this. Oh, someone has actually done a little handy guide here. So like the two most like easy examples are Shivering, which when you draw a special one you take a horror, and Rite of Seeking, which is you end your turn. So Rite of Seeking you can play around by always investigating on your last action, but maybe sometimes you don't really have the time. So if you manage to draw one of them, you just play this. Because you don't have to play this preemptively, like with the guy that just says no. What's the flavors? No, I know. Okay, it should be no. Now I want to know what the card is called, otherwise I'll... Defiance, that's right. Defiance you have to play beforehand, and it cancels the effect. So for Rite of Seeking it would be the same, except you have to play Eldritch Horror after. There are some other cool ones, like Storm of Spirit. When you draw a special one you do damage to everyone. And the Catonian Stone is also a true thing. This bounces when you draw the autofail, which can be problematic. Wait, what? Can actually be used on the second copy of itself. Huh. Oh yeah, I mean you could play them twice, I guess, yeah. But for Song of Dead, if you manage, then you'll do 4 damage. Or well, 5 damage in total, which is crazy. But you have to draw the special one. But there's definitely some cool things you can do with this, and I haven't really played around with it to try it. But we're gonna get to 2 cards that definitely like this card, so we'll keep it in mind, as to speak. Okay, let's continue. Track Shoes. Track Shoes are a new survivor asset. It costs 3 to play, 0 XP, has an agility icon, and its item, clothing, and footwear traded. And it reads limit 1 footwear per investigator. You get +1 agility, and it has a reaction after you move, but before enemies at your new location engage you. Exhaust Track Shoes, test 3 agility, and if you succeed, you move to a connecting location. Couple of things with this card. Limit 1 footwear per investigator. Some people have asked, like, why didn't they make a footwear slot? But I don't think we'll get to see many new footwear. Maybe we'll get like 1 or 2 like combat boots, maybe like nice boots, nice shoes, I don't know. But we probably won't see more than like 2 more footwear, I would guess. Compared to the tarot card, which I think we'll see more of. And it's the same with the masks. You don't have to print icons for every new piece of cloth they make. The ability, you get +1 agility, and that's solid for 3. I mean, it might be a little bit on the more expensive side. Actually, it's not. If you compare to something like the trench coat, which also boosts your agility during attention events only. That also costs 3. Granted, it gives you +2 to health. But why are you running Track Shoes is because of this reaction. So when you move to a location, you may test 3 agility, and if you succeed, you get to move an extra turn. And this is... You can trigger this even if the location you move to doesn't have an enemy. It can be an empty location. It's just that if it is an enemy, it won't jump you. So you manage actually to outrun it and move to the new location without engaging the enemy. And this is so efficient. If you can pass this test quite consistently, like with once again with the new survivor, she has 5 agility. With this, she will be at 6. And you're probably running other agility boosts like Peter. then every time you move, well, once every turn, you get to move an extra. And that's super handy. The fact that the enemy doesn't jump you makes it even more flexible than something like, well, maybe not Shortcut, rather Pathfinder. Okay. And Pathfinder is a super good card. So they're quite alike. You have to do a test every time, which can be problematic. But if you're passing this constantly, it's a super good card. I think that's like all the investigator cards I thought was worth talking about. Oops. We'll do another video another time on the specific investigators. And I still have 2 more packs to cover. So, I will talk briefly about the 13th Vision. It's a card designed at the Arkham Night event 2017, so it's like a 1.5 year, 2 years old card. We have seen the spoiler for this, or like some people actually had that card for like since Arkham Knight, basically. And it you put it into your threat area, and investigator at your location fail ties, and double action you discard it. And this card is very equal to Haunted. Which gives you -1 to each of your skill. Sure, I know the difference. This affects everyone. This makes you so you fail at zeros. Haunted is worth you using something like lockpicks, because then it gets -2. So I'm well aware about the difference, but they are similar. And the thing I don't like about 13th Vision is that I find it to be boring. It's very similar to Haunted. And obviously I wasn't there. I don't know how much free space they were given, but I find this card a bit boring. But yeah. Anyway, the second weakness, the Tower 16. It reads basic weakness, Omen Tarot. You cannot commit cards to skill test while the tower is in your hand, and if it's in your opening hand before or after mulligan, you cannot replace it. This is probably one of the worst basic weakness in the game. It's there with Overzealous, and yeah, the fact that because how you get rid of it is that you play it for 4 resources, and it takes up the tarot card. So if you have this in your deck, then the other tarot cards are kind of useless, because if you have the other ones in your opening hand, you can play this. You can play them and put them down. But if you want to get rid of this, you have to put this down as well, and then you have to discard your other tarot card. And some investigators can't really pay for, especially if you're like trying to rush the scenario. This is horrible. Some investigators just can't make it leave your hand, and then you can't commit cards. It's not just skill cards, it's any cards. Yeah, so the tower is super horrible. Okay, let's continue. How long? We're 34 minutes in. Let's see. Well, hopefully it don't be longer than like 40 minutes. Maybe 30 if we're speeding it up. Okay, we're moving into the secret name. The secret name, like we'll do it. No, we'll do it like this. Crack the case. It's a seeker event. Insight, like all of them almost. Cost 0 to play. Intellect icon. Fast. After an investigator discovers the locked remaining clue at your location, play after. Investigators at your location gain a total of X resources distributed as you wish. X is the shroud value of your location. So usually this will be like 2 to 4. And that's super good. I mean, that's an emergency cash. As I was saying earlier, seekers might not need the money, because they have Milan and they not necessarily have too expensive stuff. but you may distribute it how you want. So you could give like all 3 resources to your poor guardian. I haven't tried this card yet, but I'm very excited to try it out because it looks very cool. Very efficient card. Next card, Intel Report. It's a rogue event, costs 2 and has 2 intellect icons, so that's good. Favor and service it's rated. And it reads, discover 1 clue at your location. And it has a reaction. You may increase the cost by 2, and if you do, you discover 2 clues instead of 1. And then it has another one which says you can increase the cost by 2, and if you do, instead of at your location, you can do it up to 2 locations away. So you can use both of these reactions. You can pay 6 to find 2 clues at 2 locations away. And this is so flexible. 3 clues is something that's always good. Paying 6 for 2 clues is a lot, but if you're, let's say you entered a location and then you had to leave because, well, sometimes you have to leave, but you want those clues, so you want to get back. If you would have walked back and investigated and then had to walk back, that would be like walk, investigate, walk. So that would be 6 actions that you're saving. Well, technically 5 because you're spending 1 action on playing this. It's a super flexible card. I have used it a little bit in my Preston deck. Haven't played it like tons of times, but I've seen what it can do, and it's very flexible. It's a cool card. It is expensive. I mean, 6 is very expensive. But I mean, worst case, you just find 1 clue at your location for 2. It's a cool card. Magic. It's a mystic asset, costs 3, fast. You have 1 additional arcane slot, which can only hold spells and ritual, which is most of them, I think. I'm not sure what other ones are, but this is cool. Let's see. Someone has to mention the book thingy. Oops, not always running. What's this called? Book of Shadows, maybe? Yeah. Now we have another Book of Shadow. For 0 XP, you can have another arcane slot. That's good. If you're playing someone like Akachi or what's her name? Agnes. It's cool. I haven't tried this, but it is fast. It takes up the hand slot, but that's usually not a problem for someone like Akachi or Agnes. Cool card. Nice that we have ways to get arcane slot. The last cards in the secret name are these gold cards, straight up from Magic. No, but they are dual class. I won't go into the details or like the rules on how dual class works, because you can read it on for yourself in the paper thing that comes with the Mythos pack. But it's basically, if you can take one of the class, you probably can take the card, or you can take the card. If you can have secondary class, you probably can do it as well. Most of them, I mean, the Thompson, I'm not really that interested. It's too expensive. Scroll of Secrets, I don't even know what it does. It's not good. Sormash, it's not too good either. Enchanted Blade, however, this is a gun. So this is basically a gun. So it's an asset, costs 3 to play, takes a hand and an arcane slot, has 3 charges. So you fight, you get +1 combat. You may then, as an additional cost, you may spend a charge, and if you do, you get +1 combat and deal 2 damage. 1 additional damage. This is when you use this, you actually, if you're spending a charge, you get +2 combat. You're getting this combat and this combat. So I think this is very good. If you can like sleight of hand it out, or like have a way to recharge it, or someone like Yorick can keep discarding this and then replay it, because he don't care about it taking an arcane slot. And I mean, if you compare this something to like Machete, it's very strong. It's +2, and you don't have to be engaged with only one thing. It has charges, so you have to bounce it. It's basically some hybrid between the 45 automatic and the Machete. It's a cool card. Someone has written quite a lengthy review on it. The Grizzly Tomb, also kind of cool. Takes the accessory slot and costs 3 to play. After you commit a skill card to a test, exhaust Grizzly Tomb, that card gains another instance of one of its icons of your choice. So this is very good for Min. It's basically Min's ability on a card. So if you're running this in Min, you're getting +2 to one of your cards every turn. Probably very good. I haven't tried it out yet, so I can't really say, but it looks to be very cool. Last pack is Wage of Sins, right? Yeah, the Wages of Sin. And some cards here stand out. Alicia, I've tried her in my Caroline deck, and I discovered here that she actually exhausts. So it's a Guardian ally asset. Cost 4, 2/2. You get +1 intellect, and after you discover a clue, you exhaust her, and you deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. So she costs the same as Milan, gives the same stat, but instead of money, she generates damage. The thing is, it's a bit awkward to do this, because if you have an enemy at your location, you probably engage with it. So then you can't really find clues unless you're cheating them with something like what's the Seeker card that lets you find a clue fast? It's in the core set. Working a hunch, yeah, that's it. So if you have working a hunch and Alicia, you can just grab a clue and you ping at the enemy for 1, which is okay. I mean, Beat Cup might do it. Level 2 Beat Cup does the same, but better. Like if you're only out after the damage. As I said, I have tried her a little bit and I haven't been super impressed, but I have also drawn her late always. Mr. Rook. He comes in with 3 secrets. Good stats. Cost 3, has 2 health and 2 sanity. You exhaust him and spend a secret, then you search the top 3, 6 or 9 cards of your deck and draw one of those cards. And if you draw a weakness, you also have to draw that one. So I think this is very good. Depending on who you are, you probably maybe want to draw. If you know that you're gonna draw your weakness, it's usually not as bad as when you draw it when you're not prepared for it. So if you have like a basic weakness, the one that loses all money, for example, if you're very poor currently, you might want just to like get it over and draw that weakness now. And I mean, searching top 9, it's very good in this game because most investigators only have 30 cards and you have drawn 5 in your opening hand. Granted, you have a couple of extra cards, but that's at least 1/3 of your deck, which is very good. You're probably gonna find the card you're looking for. So very, very cool card draw. I think you often will go for 9 or 6, unless you're really scared of your weakness. Hawkeye folding camera. It's an asset, costs 2, takes up the hand slot. Reaction after the last clue is discovered from your location. You place 1 resource on the camera from the token pool, and you can only do it once at every location. And depending on how many secrets, you either get +1 will, or you get 1 will and 1 intellect, or you get will, intellect, and 1 sanity. And I mean, this is okay. I mean, the things you get from it are good. But I mean, some scenarios you probably won't be able to trigger this too many times. And if you compare to something like Key of no, St. Tuber's Key, right? Which gives you these stats, and this lowers your sanity, but then you heal your sanity, so you're going plus in sanity with this one. Sure, it's more expensive. It takes another slot, but this one just comes in and is ready to go. I think without trying out the folding camera yet, I think it will off and fizzle, and you only get like one wheel, maybe both. But if you have tried it and you notice that it's super good, please let me know in the comments, and I might try it out. Let's see. We have a couple of more cards that I want to talk about. Henry 1, it's an asset, ally. You pay 3, it's 1 health and 2 sanity. You exhaust him, and then you keep drawing chaos tokens until you either stop or draw a bad one. And for every card you drew, you either gain 1 resources or draw a card. And I mean, you probably, if you're on like Reddit or something, you probably saw the stats when this guy was spoiled. Someone did the odds, and the odds are not very good. If you're having a couple of the bad ones, or the special one in the chaos bag, you probably will fizzle a lot. And for this to be worth, you probably will have to do like 2 or 3. I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun card, but I don't think it's very good. Okay, these two, Wither and Sixth Sense. There are 2 new spells. They cost 2 and 3 respectively. Combat and Intellect, so it's a little spoiler on what they're about. Wither, fight. You use will instead of combat. If a special one is revealed, not the auto fail actually. If a skull, cultist, tablet, or elder things is revealed during this attack, the attacked enemy gets -1, fight and -1, evade for the remainder of that turn to -1. So the thing about when I first saw it, I didn't notice it because I thought this is so much worse than like shivering. But this doesn't have charges, so you can keep using them. And something like a 3, and the special one, it's not like game breaking, and it's only for your turn, so you can't go first, lower it, and then let your guardian come and bash it. It's only lowering it for your turn. But if it's like a 3 health enemy, that can be kind of awkward for mystics. But with this and shivering, you could first wither it and then shiver it to kill a 3 health enemy. So it's probably very good. I haven't tried it. It will be arcane intensive. And Sixth Senses is probably even cooler. You investigate with will instead of intellect, and if a special one is revealed, not the red one, you may choose a reveal location connected to your location and are now investigating as if you were at that location. You may use either shroud value. So what? I guess this means that... Wait, what? Does that mean that if I'm at location A with shroud 2 and I draw a special thing, and my neighbor location is a location with shroud 4, can I investigate the 4 shroud location with a 2 shroud location? Because that's how I'm reading it. And if that's the case, it's even better than I thought. No one has actually wrote anything about these cards. But that's very good. If that's how it is, please let me know as well. And as well, this doesn't have charges. So it's a way, because when Rite of Seeking is out from Mystics, it can be problematic for them to find clues. But this doesn't care about that. It's also a very good card, probably. And with Eldritch Inspiration, you can trigger these effects twice. Probably best for 6 senses. Yeah, very cool cards. What are we at? 40 minutes, okay. This is the last card I'll talk about. Is Drawing Thin. And this card, oh my god, my friend have been playing this, and this card is broken, busted. So it's a survivor asset, costs 0 to play, 0 XP, has a willpower icon, and it's talent, and it reads reaction. When you initiate a skill test, exhaust Drawing Thin, increase the difficulty of this test by 2, gain 2 resources, or draw 1 card. So, if you're good at something, like agility with read down, you can easily be at like 7 or 8. You're getting a test evade 2 agility enemy. You can draw thin, you get 2 resources, and if you can even with what is it called? I'm forgetting all the cards today. Scrapper. With Scrapper and this, if you're like 3 above. No, wait. How does this work? If you only have to pay 1. No, wait. Well, you can do fun things with Drawing Thin. But I mean, my friend he had so much money. You keep getting money for there are so many tests that you will ace no matter what, and you can just keep drawing or getting money. And the thing is, this works the other way. Even if you're not gonna ace a test, if you know you're gonna super fail a test, it's like a will 5 and you're at will 1, you can still use this. It doesn't matter if it's will 7 or 5, it will be the same, unless it's like Rotting Remain. Don't use this on Rotting Remain if you think you're gonna lose. But yeah, this is such a good card. Someone like Yorick probably likes it in combat because he can be quite strong. Like the Desperate Duke build that run the Desperate cards, probably like this as well, because with Desperate cards and Yattol you can easily be at +10. So it's a very, very cool card. Try it out. It's super fun. Okay, that was a quick rundown of the 3 first pack. Circle Undone, Secret Name, and the Wage of Sin. I will try to do the Greater Good sometime, maybe this week. For some reason I got tons of new subscribers on my YouTube. Like tons, but a couple. And I haven't posted anything at all for like months. So I don't know what's going on with the YouTube algorithm, or if it were just bots. But anyway, keep saying like subscribe, because it makes me happy. So when I got that, I thought like, okay, I probably should post something. So that's my thoughts. Please let me know if there's a card in this pack that I did not talk about that you find to be really cool. I will do the investigators at a later time, maybe if I'm not too lazy. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. It was a little unscripted, this video, so hopefully you're able to follow along. But until next time, good luck with those token pools.